I have been playing Minecraft Bedwars for 6 years and hit over 900 star on Hypixel. People ask me every day how to be good at Bedwars and to help them, and I want to give you my knowledge for free. I'm going to give you everything you need to get started with Minecraft Bedwars, to win more games, my best tips and tricks, the best strategy, and how to play like a Bedwars pro. But if you can't stay on this video for 5 minutes without clicking off, I've got some news for you. You're probably not going to make it. This video is packed with essential strategies and tips that cater to both beginners and intermediate players looking to sharpen their skills. I've saved the most game-changing tip for the end. Trust me, you won't want to miss it. You can always come back to this video to refresh your knowledge and continue improving. I'm going to enlist all the things I'm going to go through in this video to give you the right mindset and the tools you need to get started and become better. So today we are going to cover how to get started, what's the general strategy, how to win, how to use key items, how to be efficient, because efficiency and being quick is crucial, how to use resources, and how to win without a bed. Let's jump in. The general strategy, offensive mindset. One of the most common mistakes new players make is adopting a defensive mindset. Sure, protecting your bed is important, but being overly cautious can be a downfall. The best defense is a proactive offense. Why? Because if you're busy taking out other players in their beds, they won't have the chance to target you. Those are the key strategies. Simple bed defense. Start with just 8 wool blocks. It's tempting to invest heavily in bed defense, but remember, if you're not at your base, a determined player can break through any defense. Spend your iron and gold on more aggressive items like TNT, tools, and blocks. First rush tactics. The first rush is critical. Identify your closest opponent. This is usually your first rush target. If you're unsure, you can play it safe by waiting to see who makes the first move and then counterattack. But generally, on maps like Pernicious or Rooftop, you rush to a middle island before attacking. On Lighthouse or Yue, you should directly side rush the nearest base. On Ashfire or Steampunk, a diagonal rush to the adjacent team is most effective. I also have 2 advanced tips for you. Split strategy. If playing in teams, split roles. One player focuses on rushing, while the other sets up the bed defense and gathers resources for mid-game before helping out his teammate with the first rush. Resource management. Spend your initial resources wisely. Prioritize tools, iron armor, and bridging blocks in the early game. Awareness. Staying informed. Awareness separates good players from great ones. It's not just about knowing where your enemies are, it's also about anticipating their moves. Those are the vital elements. Scoreboard monitoring. Regularly check the scoreboard to see which teams are still active. This helps you anticipate which teams might target you next, especially if they've completed their first rush and have free time to attack you next. Situational awareness. Always keep an eye on your base and surrounding areas. Look for bridges being built toward you or sudden enemy movements. If you notice suspicious activity, don't hesitate to jump into the void to respawn at your base. Better safe than sorry. And again, some pro tips. Chat monitoring. Use the chat to keep track of enemy eliminations and bed destructions. This can give you clues about which teams are fighting, which players are strong, and which are struggling. Void strategy. If you're at risk of losing your bed and you notice enemies closing in, voiding can save you. But do it strategically, only if you're sure you can reach your base in time to defend. Bridging techniques, speed and efficiency. Bridging is an essential skill that can drastically change your gameplay. Mastering various techniques not only speeds up your movement, but also surprises opponents and secures strategic advantages. The key techniques are speed bridging, the most basic but crucial skill. It allows you to traverse distances quickly, making it harder for enemies to react. It involves shifting and unshifting while placing blocks. Diagonal bridging, essential for maps where diagonal rushing is more efficient. Elevated bridging. This technique involves bridging upward to avoid direct confrontations or to gain a height advantage. And a tip, check out my detailed tutorial on these techniques linked at the end of the video. Explosives, how to use TNT and fireballs. Explosives are versatile tools in Bed Wars, useful for both offense and defense. Bed defense destruction. TNT can blow through most bed defenses, especially when placed strategically. Drop TNT from above to knock back defenders and expose their bed. Place it diagonally and as close to the ground as possible for maximum block destruction. Fireballs are great for destroying wood, wool, and clay defenses. Player manipulation. Fireballs and TNTs can knock players off bridges or islands. They're also useful for disrupting enemy actions like breaking your bed. A well-timed fireball can reset their block-breaking progress, giving you time to counterattack. They can also reposition enemies in fights. This can give you time to heal with golden apples. Damage. Fireballs deal 2 hearts of damage and can set enemies on fire, dealing additional damage over time. If an enemy is low on health, you can finish them off with a fireball if they're trying to flee from a fight. Mobility. Master fireball and TNT jumping. Fireball jumping requires throwing a fireball at your feet and jumping just before it hits. TNT jumping involves placing TNT, waiting for it to explode, and jumping at the right moment. These techniques can be used to escape, surprise enemies, or traverse large gaps quickly. And a tip countering enemy TNT. How can I recognize TNT carriers? Look for red particles above enemies' heads. It means they're carrying TNT. Use water buckets to nullify the explosion or build a defensive tower at least 3 blocks above your bed. Ladders. Beyond climbing ladders are underrated but incredibly useful for various tactical plays. Almost as underrated as leaving a like on this video and subscribe. I promise you that you will win significantly more games if you continue watching my videos. But now, ladders. The key uses are fall damage prevention. Use ladders to clutch onto walls and avoid fall damage. This is particularly useful in escaping or descending from high places. This takes some practice. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a dedicated video on ladders. Vertical mobility. Climbing ladders allows you to maintain visual contact with enemies, unlike block stacking, which obstructs your view. This is useful in tower fights where knowing the enemy's position is crucial. There are also some useful creative uses. Ladder bridging. If you're low on blocks, alternate placing ladders and blocks to extend your reach. Trap setup. Use ladders to set up traps or blocks in narrow spaces, forcing enemies into tight spots where you can easily outplay them. Pro tip, if you shift-click on a ladder with a block, it will place a block behind you, giving you an essential advantage in bridge fights because you won't get knocked off. Resource management and key items. Efficient resource management can be the difference between victory and defeat. What should you buy with iron? Prioritize purchasing blocks, stone swords, and tools. Fireballs are also a great investment for both offense and defense. Avoid buying chainmail armor and pop-up towers unless absolutely necessary. What about gold? Your first goal should be acquiring iron armor, 12 gold. After that, focus on buying golden apples, TNT, and iron swords. Golden apples are particularly useful for quick health recovery during and after fights. Emeralds, invisibility, and jump potions along with ender pearls are game changers. Invisibility potions allow for stealth bed breaks and final kills, while ender pearls offer a safety net during critical moments. Advanced purchases. Magic milk. Use it with invisibility potions to avoid triggering enemy traps. Diamond swords and speed potions. These are situational items, best used if you're confident in your PvP skills. Strategic uses. Diamond armor. Only buy it if you're facing a well-equipped and stacked enemy. Otherwise, focus on mobility and offensive items. Punch bows, expensive and situational, invest in them only if you have huge surplus resources. Most of the time, you're better off with pearls, potions, and diamond armor. Jump potions, good for aggro and defense. Use jump potions to gain the upper hand in fights or to secure beds. Combining it with a TNT is almost always a guaranteed bed break. They also help in defensive plays like escaping from enemies. And finally, diamonds. Diamonds are crucial for gaining an edge through upgrades. The priority upgrades are sharpness and protection. These are the most impactful upgrades. Sharpness increases your damage output, while protection reduces incoming damage, making you more durable in fights. The best trap is the mining fatigue trap. Always get this trap first. It delays enemies from breaking your bed and alerts you when your base is under attack. It catches attackers off guard and often leads to saving your bed. The heal pool is a good secondary choice for 1 diamond for regeneration during base defenses in sweaty fights. However, avoid camping at your base, stay aggressive, and keep pressuring enemies. Buy setup efficiency is key. A well-organized quick buy menu saves precious seconds, allowing you to react quickly in high-pressure situations. How to set it up. Arrange your most used items on the first page of your quick buy menu by holding Shift and clicking on the item. This includes blocks, tools, weapons, and consumables like golden apples and TNT. Feel free to pause the video and copy my setup. Clutching, surviving without a bed. Losing your bed isn't the end. It's an opportunity to play strategically. The survival tactics are: avoid fights. Without a bed, every life counts. Avoid unnecessary confrontations and focus on gathering resources. Go mid early. If you lose your bed early, head to the middle to gather emeralds and secure crucial items like invisibility potions and ender pearls. Resource gathering. Collect as many diamonds and emeralds as possible. Focus on protection and sharpness upgrades, along with utility items like fireballs and potions. Endgame strategy? By now, only 1 or 2 teams should be left. Once you're well equipped, choose your fights wisely. Use your potions and pearls to outmaneuver and outplay your opponents. Remember, the key to success is practice and adapting these strategies to your playstyle. Let me know in the comments if you want more advanced tips or a part 2. If this video was helpful, please leave a like and subscribe to join our growing community of Bedwars pros. Next up, start with speed bridging. It's the most universally useful technique.